In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a fluorocarbon musky leader. Okay, to make a fluorocarbon musky leader, you need 4 materials and 1 tool. The materials that I'm using here today are 130-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon. I'm going to be using a rolling swivel and not a ball bearing swivel, and I'll explain why as I make it. I'm going to be using a snap to attach, that's going to be that end of the leader that attaches to my lure. And I'm going to be using 2 mini double barrel sleeves, which is different than the sleeves that you would select for a wire leader. Just one note on sleeves. Here on the top corner it says what size the sleeves are. In this case it's 0.051 inches mini double barrel sleeves, and you can select those on the American Fishing Wire website. They tell you what size sleeve, a double barrel sleeve matches with what size fluorocarbon. Okay, now that I've covered the materials, you're only going to be using 1 tool here today, and that's going to be a hand crimper. Okay, now that I've covered the tools and the materials, I'll get on with prepping the materials and making it. For the preparation of materials, there's only 1 step, and that's just cutting the size of the fluorocarbon that you want. So I'll do that now. Just pull this out. Okay, in this case, I'm going to make about a 10-inch leader, depending on how fussy you are about the length of your leaders. You can measure them exactly. In this case, I'm just doing it to demonstrate how to make it, so I'll just guess on the size. So once you've cut your fluorocarbon, when you do cut it, you're only going to need very small bits of the tag end. So you want it sort of 1/2 inch overall, the material cut 1/2 inch longer than you want your leader. The first step is going to be, we're going to attach the rolling swivel. Now I use these smaller size 4 rolling swivels over the ball bearing swivels because what I'm trying to do is use the smallest hardware that I'm comfortable with on these attachments, so it interferes with the leader and the lure as little as possible when the lure is passing through the water. So if I'm using this, for jerkbait, for example, what I don't want is a really heavy front end barrel swivel that weighs down the leader, interferes with how the lure works, but also sometimes if you have front hooks on your lure, it can drop the leader down and it fouls in the front hooks. Okay, so now that I've attached the size 4 rolling swivel, I attach this thread through on one side of the mini double barrel sleeves. And it's not a tight fit, but you just need to work it there for a second just to get it in. There we go. One end is in. And again, you want that tag end just peeking through enough that you can see it, so you know that it's all the way through. Then you want to take the running end, same thing, insert it in the other side of the barrel, feed that all the way through, and you want to pull it so you have, I don't like too big of a loop on these, just enough that there's a little bit of play with the swivel so it can move around, and there's a bit of free play as it attaches to my main line. The next portion, you want to take the hand crimping tool, and these are crimped a bit differently than these double barrel ones are crimped a bit differently than the other leader sleeves. They go up and down, so that is to say, they go in. You're crimping the widest size, or the widest sides dimensions of the swivel, just like that. I have it on the smallest setting in the hand crimper, and I'm careful that I'm crimping the center. Now this is really important when you're using fluorocarbon, because if you crimp too close to the ends and the crimp doesn't flare out, it could damage a fluorocarbon and interfere with the strength. So in this case, I'm happy with that, and I'll go ahead and crimp, hold that down, and you'll see once it's crimped in the center, it flares out at the ends, and that's exactly what I'm looking for there. Okay, now that end's done, come down to the other end, and in this case, I have to put the thread through the first double barrel sleeve first. So I'll do that. So there, that's threaded through. Now thread on the back of the snap and feed the tag end back through the other side of the double barrel, just like that. And again, I like a small loop, enough that there's a little bit of movement and play there, but not so much that it's moving all over the place. And you want to make sure the tag is just peeking through enough that you can see it, so you know that the tag end's gone all the way through the barrel swivel for the crimp. And again, I'll crimp this on the smallest setting on these hand crimpers. And again, careful to make sure that I'm crimping in the center of the leader sleeve, and also that I'm crimping down. I'm crimping down across, crimping down the two, almost as if I'm crimping the two lines together. So the widest portion of the swivel is being crimped. And I'll crimp that down now. I'm happy with that. Okay, now that I've done that, and that's again what you're looking for, is that it's crimped in the center with the edges of the crimp of the leader sleeve flared out. Okay, I'll just move that, and you can get a look at it there, and there we have it, a fluorocarbon musky leader done with the crimps.